Welcome back, folks. We kickstart a brand new week, and what a way to start the morning. The SGX Nifty is at the high point of trade, up almost 180 points. But our research team is also here to give you the list of top 10 stocks as we kickstart trade this morning, and there are plenty to talk about. So without wasting any time, Anuj, let me come to you first. Given that it is expected to be sort of a gap up opening, do you stick with the large caps, and what do you do with mid caps and small caps that have been under pressure so far?
Yeah, I think, Sonia, today is, as I said, the day that I want to see the market's texture. I think the gap up is given. But normally on days like today, the first gap up sees some profit taking, and then we take it from there. The stocks that I'm going to watch out for are the ones where I want to see purely from the FI action point of view, because last week you had seen quite a bit of selling. So both HDFC and HDFC Bank, from the market's health point of view, after the gap up will be important to see, because we need to see if there's FI selling, that immediately comes to these stocks. If not, and if the market's due for short covering, then I think after the gap up also these stocks should manage to hold on or move higher. So that's why I'll keep an eye on both these names today.
Okay, we'll watch out for these stocks. Thanks, Anuj, for that. A bunch of pharma stocks in the news and some pretty big developments here. Ekta, good morning. Busy morning. Cadilla, Oro.
Well, yes, I'll start with Cadilla because there is another vaccine which is now approved for COVID-19, that's Zycov-D. It is approved, more importantly, for 12 years and above. So that is the category which still does not have a vaccine in India and now does. It's a 3-dose vaccine, 66% plus efficacy. It is the impact is expected to be positive, like I mentioned, because it is the first vaccine to be approved for that 12 to 18 band. It is also looking to manufacture around 1 crore doses by October, so that should be a positive in terms of any kind of absorption of demand. And the company is looking to eventually create a 2-dose vaccine as well. They will be working with regulatory authorities on pricing. CLSA is positive. They've upgraded the stock to buy from outperform target price 650. They believe the vaccine upside has driven 3 to 15% EPS increase. The other one that I'm following is Aurobindo, because they've terminated that deal to acquire 51% stake in Cronus Pharma for 420 crores. The street will be positive because the companies acknowledge concerns and they could possibly utilize those funds for things such as a hopeful buyback. Also, other concerns continue for Aurobindo, so that needs to be put into context. For example, the 7 observations at the Unit 1 which we reported on Friday, other regulatory issues, weak US sales. Remember, stock is already corrected over 15% from their Q1 numbers and is trading at around 10 to 11 times 1 year forward currently.
Okay, thanks a lot for that, Ekta. That's a lot of stocks in focus. Aurobindo actually was a big loser, as Ekta was pointing out, down 5%. But let's go across to Abhishek now and find out why he's watching Bank of India as well as Aavas Finances. Abhishek, hi, morning.
Morning, Sonia. So Bank of India could be raising funds, very soon. So it may look to raise around 3,000 crore. The funds will help in strengthening the capital base of the bank. However, it will also help in paring down the government stake in the bank by 10% from 90.3% to about 80.3%. The fundraise could be at a price of around 65 and above. We have written to the management. However, they are yet to respond on the same. The calculation shows that if this fundraise goes through, net worth will increase by 6.1%, heavy equity dilution of about 12.5%, tier 1 ratio will improve by 100 basis points to close to 13%, and book value may decline by 5.7% to close to around 126 per share. Aavas Finances, a partner group on Friday, have sold about 34.13 lakh shares, or about 4.35% in the company. They have received about 800 odd crores in terms of the remuneration from the stake sale. Baz is a long list running from HDFC Bank, Government of Singapore, Morgan Stanley, Kotak Mutual Fund, etc., so on and so forth. Back to you.
Okay, Abhishek, thanks a lot for that. Let's go across to Sonal then for some stocks and news. Sonal, good morning.
Good morning, Anuj. Let me start with SRF. Well, the stock has been doing well in the last couple of weeks, and now the board will be meeting on 31st of August to consider bonus issue of shares. Expect that stock to be in the green today. Ramkrishna Forgings, well, board will be meeting on 27th of August for some fundraising. They will be doing it via bonds, debentures, NCDs, equity shares, warrants, and any other method. Similar for Borosil Renewables, the board will be meeting on August 25th, and that is again for fundraising via various methods, be it FPO, rights issue, QIP, ADR or GDR. So all these stocks will be in focus today. Okay, thanks Sonal for that. Let's go across to Mangalam now to find out some more stocks that he's tracking this morning. Mangalam, over to you.
Good morning. So we're tracking TTK Prestige. They have had a long-term settlement with a couple of their permanent employees in the manufacturing unit in Maharashtra. So mild green at best, because a large part of their manufacturing still happens from Hosur, that is. The other one that I'm tracking is Adani Enterprises. See some red on that stock because SEBI has put Adani Wilmar's IPO in abeyance. Remember, Adani Wilmar is a JV between Adani Enterprises as well as Wilmar. The company has said there is no word from SEBI yet on this IPO being put in abeyance. And finally, we have Capacity Infra. That one, see a deep gash of red on that one because India Ratings has downgraded the stock's ratings to D. And that's not all. The company says that they remain focused towards being debt-free by FY23. Whether that happens or not, for now, the stock was lower on Friday, likely to be lower today as well.
Okay, I think the total value of the entities that have been downgraded is about 1,600 crores amount. Maybe not that big from a lender's perspective, but an important event to mark nonetheless. Thanks very much, Mangalam. Nupur, good morning. Some more stocks and news?
And good morning. Well, I have 3 stocks, so let me start with Arvind Fashions, where company raises 439 crore via preferential allotment of shares to various marquee investors, including the promoter, but at a price a slight discount to its current market price. So going with red on price adjustment. Moving on to the Nanbuja Cement, where company starts trial run at company's new Mewar cement plant in Nagaur, Rajasthan. Investment put in this particular plant amounts to 2,350 crores, and this will enhance company's capacity by 3 million tons and will help in improving cement sales by 5 million tons. And lastly, HDFC Bank as Paytm and Bank announced a strategic partnership for delivering financial solution to end consumers and also to launch innovative products across digital payments, lendings and post solutions.
Okay, that's important. Neobanks, the big talking point there in the banking world. But let's do a quick recap of our top stocks now. Stocks with positive news flow are Aurobindo Pharma, Cadilla, Natco Pharma, Bank of India, Aavas Financiers, SRF, Ramkrishna Forgings, Borosil Renewables, TTK Prestige, Ambuja Cements and HDFC Bank, while stocks with negative news flow, Adani Enterprises, Capacity Infra and Arvind Fashions. But let's do one thing. Let's get a grip on what's been happening in the world of commodities, considering that there's a Jackson Hole meeting. There's so much transpiring there. Manisha Gupta, our commodities editor, joins in now to tell us what the impact all of this could have. Manisha, hi, good morning.
Morning, Sonia. Thank you for that. Well, the global commodity prices are trading at a 2-month lows, and the previous week was really a bad one where we saw the crude oil prices decline by 9%. You had copper prices go down 6%. Iron ore prices fell by nearly 13%. And that pretty much has been the case with the rest of the commodities, especially with the US dollar trading at a 9-month high and earlier than planned cut in bond purchases by US Fed. But as you rightly said, it is all going to be about the Jackson Hole meeting by the end of this week that would give further direction to the markets. After a very weak previous week, we have seen some opportunity buying in Asian markets right now. But most analysts will tell you that this perhaps is not sustainable because we have been looking at lower lows and lower highs for many of these commodity markets. And the charts do indicate that there is still some pain remaining for commodities.
Okay, equities have come roaring